Here at Blade 2014 at the Diskin USA booth. The first thing I want to do is introduce Dan Keffeler. Dan Keffeler just defended his World Cut Championship title this year at Blade and defended it successfully. Dan won it yesterday. We do have that in HD video, Dan's winning run. We're going to play it at the end of the video. I'm a big Dan Keffeler fan. Dan is an incredibly strong cutter. Dan combines a scientific approach to his blade design and edge geometry mixed with a lot of natural ability and freakish gorilla strength. So that means even when Dan gets a bad cut, he's getting it lined up right and he's pushing through and making the cut. Dan is just an impressive champion. It's going to be a hard day the day he gets beat. Dan, tell us a little bit about your cut championship knife.
So this is the knife I used this year, and it meets Blade Sport specification, which is a 10-inch blade, 5-inch handle, 15 inches overall, no more than 2 inches wide. So one of the neat things about Blade Sports is it's a testing ground for new materials, new metallurgy, new designs. We work out our edge geometries, and if you can see this blade right here, you'll see that we're not dealing with a real thick edge there. That's actually in certain parts of this knife, there's only about 8 to 10 thousandths behind the edge and stuff. So we're really putting a lot of emphasis on what the metallurgy can withstand and how much force we can put into these knives and they survive and stuff. This knife right here just went through the competition yesterday and you virtually can't tell at all. So this particular knife is made out of Venatus 4 Extra. It's a Böhler Uddeholm steel. They actually sent steel to me directly to start making knives because they want to test this steel for cutlery. And I give them feedback, and we develop heat treat protocols with Peter's Heat Treat, who's my sponsor and stuff. So that's kind of the pedigree in this knife right here and stuff. So here's
fantastic. I'm a huge fan of modern interpretations of the Japanese katana. I'm a huge Phil Hartsfield fan. He was a dear friend of mine for 30 years. Rest in peace, Phil's gone. I have a large Hartsfield collection. I'm still very interested in modern interpretation of Japanese katanas. Dan, can you hand me that small one?
All right, here you go.
I've seen a lot of Dan's swords, and if I were to ever be able to own one, which is going to happen someday, this is a piece that I would really, really like. There's nothing traditional about this piece, but it's got bow height, it's incredibly light, it's the ska's got a great shape to it. The edge geometry is what a modern katana for high performance, in my opinion, should be. This sword feels incredible. To be able you got to feel this sword to actually get an understanding of what it's capable of. Dan has a video of him cutting with this piece. Of all Dan's swords, and I like all of them, Dan is making some fantastic blades. This piece especially is just, in my mind, a wicked, wicked piece. Dan, show some other swords real quick and talk.
So we've got, that's a light model. This is a model called the Super Assassin Wakizashi. This is a basic model with paracord wrap, Turk's head knot. This particular one is CPM 3V, and this sword is designed to basically take all the geometry, all the metallurgical science that I've learned through competing in blade sports, and then, you know, ask the question, what if the blade was 20 inches and not just 10 inches? I mean, what kind of cutting power could we accomplish? And the challenge there was, you know, can you reduce the weight? Can you make it handle properly? Can you make the balance point work? All the things that are really important in a sword. And then, you know, can you get it to be worth, you know, the weight and everything. And this piece, you know, I've got some videos up on my YouTube channel. This piece is, you know, cutting 2x4s, just slicing them like celery, and other stuff. Just a great piece. It turned out working out really well. And really want to change the perception of what people think swords are actually capable of doing. I mean, I want to push the boundaries of cutlery. I want to find what the limitations are and where modern metallurgy can come into play and advance, you know, the science of cutlery and the science of performance, and, you know, reset those boundaries and stuff. Here's a newer version that I just finished up. This is the Super Assassin Katana, and this particular model right here is fully mounted. We have a carbon fiber ska over Taro Tough. All the fittings are made by myself. They're all titanium fittings, and they're press fit, mounted with a traditional Makugi, which is also titanium. So the blade, there you go.
Thank you. Let me just step.
The blade is Carpenter Tool Steel PD1. That's Paul David 1. And I've got a couple cutting videos of this particular sword up, and you know, just asking those questions. You know, well, if we went with 20 inches, what about 25 inches? And where's that break point where we start to have diminishing returns? But with this piece, I think we're right there where it's the balance, the weight, and for myself, I mean, this is a sword made to my specs for me and stuff. I make other pieces to other people's specs and everything, but for me, this piece has just come out with a new level of performance for myself. I don't have anything that cuts like this yet.
If I may say something, Dan's one of the only swordsmiths out there. Most swordsmiths test their swords on classic materials, tatami mats, things like that. Dan's testing his stuff on trees, and they're not live trees. You got good, hard, dry wood. Dan's testing his swords on 2x4s. The last katana type swords that I've heard of going through 2x4s were Phil Hartsfield stuff with Toshishiro Obata swinging it, and he was clearing 2x4s with that. These are the kind of swords that we're talking about, doing testing that normal swords aren't meant to cut through 2x4s. They don't do it well. Dan's pushing it really hard. I just wanted to show this real quick.
All right.
This is Dan's Blade Sport World Championship belt buckle. Huge accomplishment. We're gonna, again, at the end of this video, we're gonna have Dan's website. We're also gonna run Dan's cutting championship video, which is just awesome. It came out perfect. That was at a great angle. Dan, I just want to thank you and congratulate you again, man.
All right.
Thank you so much, man.
All right. Yeah,
appreciate it, guys. Diskin USA booth, Blade 2014. Thanks for looking. Dan?
Thanks everybody for watching, and enjoy the show.
Dan won the World Championship last year. He is sponsored by Peter's Heat Treat. He's using a knife that he made out of
Venatus 4 Extra.
Venatus 4 Extra. I always have to ask Dan because he never know about him.
What was the knife made of?
Venatus 4 Extra. It's a new steel he's been testing for this. So he'll be using that knife today. All right.
Come on, Dan.
Come on, Dan.
Get him.
Gee.
Donovan, you ready?
Hey, Mr. Tall Guy.
Big guy, big guy.
Yeah.
Big guy.
Cutter, whenever you're ready.
All right. Big guy.
I kind of played it when better where I come to. I got to be on the floor.
All right. There we go.
Oh, sorry. I got to be on the floor. I can't do that. Nice. I see.
Pick it up.
Good run, Dan.